Vegas, a city built upon sand, broken dreams, and $5 lobster. A city where you can get a happy ending, but only if you pay a little extra. A city home to a sporting event greater than the World Cup, World Series, and World War II combined. Live from Las Vegas, it's the Las Vegas International Dodgeball Open here on ESPN 8, The Ocho, bringing you the finest in seldom-seen sports from around the globe since 1999. If it's almost a sport, we've got it here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this year's annual Las Vegas International Dodgeball Open, brought to you exclusively here on ESPN 8, The Ocho. We're coming to you live from the Las Vegas University Learning Annex. My name is Cotton McKnight. And with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Pepper Brooks. Pep.
Yeah, Cotton. Hey, everybody, 32 teams in play. That means 4 wins is going to get you in the final match, with that 5th win getting you the $50K that everyone's chasing. Cotton.
Well, there's an electricity in the air, folks, a palpable hue of anticipation. Immortality, 5 simple victories away. They've come from all over the globe, from Kathmandu to Timbuktu and all points in between, to compete in the one true human test, dodgeball.
I have been desperately seeking a podcast that covers the sports movies that I love. You know,
Some people like the sound of their own voice, you know.
That is one of the maybe 5 movies ever that even to this day, when I watch it, makes me tear up. Tugs at my feels.
What am I getting myself into here?
Exactly. I'm going to make a serious argument that Little Big League belongs in the discussion for top 3 baseball movies of all time.
So you're going to make me watch it again.
Yes.
Did you say the title of the show?
I made Alicia watch a sports movie.
Welcome back to I Made Alicia Watch a Sports Movie.
You had to think about which podcast.
I know, I had to think about what I was going to say, because I also want to say, Alicia, are you ready for some dodgeball?
No.
No? You're not ready for some dodgeball?
I mean, as long as I'm not actually hitting anyone today.
Now, we did find out while making this episode that there actually is professional dodgeball in the world.
Yes.
So, for a special bonus, we are going to watch and react to a actual match of professional dodgeball.
Yes, we are.
Because that's amazing. I had no idea that that existed. And I'm kind of interested to see what it's all about.
It's about people playing dodgeball.
Well, I assume it's people playing dodgeball, but that's got to be amazing. Because it's dodgeball.
Right.
All right, so in case you haven't figured it out by now, this week I made Alicia watch 2004's Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love this movie. Always have.
Yes,
I saw it in theaters, and I still bust this out at least once a year and watch it.
Right.
Alicia had never seen this before.
Never.
And she has a friend, Stephanie, who, whenever we're together, we will quote this movie.
Yes.
And it always generates an eye roll from you.
It does. Yes, it does.
Always generates an eye roll. You have now seen it.
I have, yes.
Regardless of what you say your rating of this movie is, I am going to tell the crowd right now that while we were watching this, she had, at the end of the movie, the most ginormous smile on her face that I have ever seen. Now, granted, she was a bit high.
I couldn't sit through it sober. I tried.
It's a hard movie to get into if it's not your style. And lowbrow comedy is not your style.
No, it's not. We had to stop like 20 minutes in so I could go smoke because I couldn't sit there and watch it. I tried. I kept getting up and walking around and he's like, okay, go smoke something.
Yeah. But well, high, she definitely enjoyed it. And she can lie and say she didn't. But she had a giant... I've seen her high a lot. And this was still an abnormally huge smile at the average Joe's victory at the end of this movie. So she can lie and say she didn't enjoy it. But her face at the time tells a different story.
All right.
But, so let's get into rankings.
Okay.
Before we get into the cast and the crew, and then get into the actual movie itself.
All right.
So, Alicia, on a rating of 5 montages, what would you give Dodgeball?
A 2.
A 2?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
The smile you gave it was at least a 3.5. At least a 3.5.
It's a 2.
All right. I give this movie 4.
Of course you do.
4. Okay, and here's why. I love comedies. Mm-hmm. I love sports. Mm-hmm. I love Vince Vaughn.
Right.
I love Ben Stiller. Mm-hmm. I love Justin Long. He's just great as like that nerdy teeny kid. Plus, I love the guy who plays Owen, who was the guy who played JT in Grandma's Boy.
Yeah.
Hey, JT, how much do clothes cost in The Matrix? So you combine all those together, and I'm 100% in. And then you throw in Rip Torn on the top of it.
I do like Rip Torn.
And I'm all in for this movie.
Yeah.
Now, I can't give it like... If I were just comparing this to sports comedies, it'd probably be like 4.5 stars. But in the grand scheme of things where I have to consider all sports movies, which means even like the serious ones that like pull at your heartstrings, I can't give it that high.
Right.
So I'm going to go 4.
Okay.
Which is going to give this an average rating of a 3 from us. Which I think is low.
Right.
You should have at least given this a 3. But...
But you can't make me.
I can't make you. I can't make you tell the truth.
I'm not lying, dude.
So, all right. Plus, this movie has 2 of my favorite sports movie announcers. No?
Who?
Pepper Brooks and Cotton Knight.
Oh, are they real announcers?
No.
Okay.
One of them was played by the amazing Jason Bateman, though.
Okay. That would be...
That would be Pepper Brooks.
Yeah.
The guy who's like, Pepper needs new shorts.
Yeah.
I sure do love a pumpkin cotton. And I love sports movies with great announcers. When you think about Major League, when you think about Little Big League, it's all about the announcers.
Right.
And these 2 are great on ESPN. The Ocho.
Yeah.
Yep.
ESPN
Poking fun at ESPN.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, ESPN had like... I mean, there's like ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, ESPN Classic, ESPNU. Like, there was all sorts of ESPN channels. Right. And you could find things on there. Like, I've... Literally, back in the day, I watched lawnmower racing on ESPN.
What?
Yeah. You know, like the lawnmower tractors?
I know.
Where they like drift race in the dirt?
Yeah, my sister and I used to do that in my mom's backyard. I didn't know that shit was covered on ESPN.
I've seen that on ESPN.
Okay.
I've seen it actually on ESPN, then I've also seen the Sklar brothers making fun of it on Cheap Seats on ESPN Classic.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
I mean, they had everything was on ESPN. Darts, dog throwing frisbees and shit, lumberjack games.
I've seen
pool,
billiards. Yeah.
Billiards, poker.
Yep.
They covered everything back in the day. So, this movie pokes a little bit of fun at that with ESPN 8, The Ocho.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And I
think I did roll my eyes pretty hard at that one.
I would watch ESPN 8, The Ocho, if Pepper Brooks and Cotton Knight existed and they were covering sports like Dodgeball. I would be all about watching ESPN 8. That'd be amazing. I bet you would. That'd be amazing. So, all right. So all that said, we need to talk about the cast and the crew.
Okay.
All right. The director was Rawson Marshall Thurber. Who cares? Really, who cares?
Right.
Let's get into the good stuff.
The cast.
The cast. The main people. All right, so we had 4 celebrity cameos
Yes.
in this movie. We had, and you were excited for each one except for one.
Okay.
So we started off, we had David Hasselhoff, the Hoff, guy from Knight Rider
Yep.
and Baywatch,
Yep.
who was the German coach.
Yes.
Which is hilarious, right? Because David Hasselhoff is not known as a musician here in America,
Right.
but in Europe, his music is extremely popular.
Right.
He actually performed the night that the Berlin Wall fell down, at the Berlin Wall.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Okay.
So he was the head coach of the German dodgeball team,
Okay.
which was great because he's sitting there screaming at his team in German, and I had no idea what he was saying because I don't speak any German.
Right.
But so yeah, we had David Hasselhoff, always a great cameo. We also had next Lance Armstrong,
Yes.
which the aging of Lance Armstrong's discussion with Peter doesn't play as well in 2020.
No, it does not.
Because he's always he tells the story of how he persevered and won his 5 straight Tour de France's, and it was all about his inner strength.
Yeah.
Leaving out the fact that
And
he
you were talking
cheated
about
like a motherfucker
steroids.
with steroids and performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
Which all came out way after this. So,
Yes.
his success story has a little bit of a cloud on it, shall we
Yes.
say. So, but still, Lance Armstrong. Back in the day, he was a huge personality back in the day.
Yep.
He probably the only cyclist in American history that like 90% of Americans could name.
I could, yeah. Like, I know the name, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And can you name any other American cyclist?
No.
Neither can I, and I used to watch the Tour de France.
I've never watched it.
It's actually kind of cool. I will
Watching
admit.
people ride a bike for 13 days?
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. We will be covering a bike riding movie
Okay.
on this show, American Flyers, starring Kevin Costner.
Of course it's Kevin Costner.
Hey,
Okay.
80s, 90s sports movies, it's all about the Costner.
Okay.
All about the Costner. All right, our next celebrity was one that you instantly recognized. Now, did you recognize him from Priceline commercials or from Star Trek? Because it was William Shatner.
Star Trek.
Okay.
But yes, I know him from Priceline commercials too.
Yes. So William Shatner was the dodgeball tournament judge, the top judge, the rules official,
Yes.
or whatever they called him, the chairman or something like that.
Yeah.
So the Shat was in there,
Yeah.
which is also great. I love William Shatner. I like his overacting. He's not my favorite Star Trek captain by a long shot.
Right.
Because that's Janeway, and anybody who argues with that can go fuck themselves. I also really like Scott Bakula's captain from Enterprise, so get over it. And then, of course, there's Jean-Luc Picard. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't go wrong with Sir Patrick Stewart.
Right.
But, yep, so Shatner was there. And then our last celebrity cameo, you weren't excited about. I was semi-excited about, because I have to separate my personal feelings of politics and religion from the things that I saw growing up.
Yeah.
And so our next and final celebrity was
Chuck Norris.
Mr. Chuck fucking Norris.
I loved him as a kid.
Yep.
These days, I could care less.
Right. Now, we will be watching Chuck Norris movies on this show.
Why?
Because there is a little ditty from the late 1990s. A little ditty starring one Jonathan Brandis
Okay.
as a young boy who enters a martial arts competition to stand up to the bullies at his school.
And Chuck Norris is
And
involved.
Chuck Norris is his like dream friend, like literally in his dreams. And Chuck Norris ends up forming a team with him and helping Jonathan Brandis win the competition. And so it's a great little movie. So Chuck Norris will be back.
You know, it's funny because I saw Chuck Norris sitting there, and when I was a kid, I loved him in all this in the TV shows. You know, I'd sit there and watch him with my pop. And
Yeah, your family does strike me as the people who would sit down and watch Walker, Texas Ranger.
yes, Walker.
I never watched
Yep.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Loved it as a kid, but and then I grew up and what he prefers life to be like became known, and it was like,
yeah, I mean, he's
thing.
a hard right Christian conservative.
Yeah.
But he also seems like a genuinely good guy. Like, I've seen him do some amazing things for, like, you know, what is the things for, like, the sick kids and stuff.
Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish and things like that. He's done some amazing things for them.
Yeah. And then I also learned he's, like, really short. He's, like, my height.
Well, yeah, because he's a martial artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I first saw him in the chair, of course, I was high. And I was like, is he sitting on a pile of books? Because he was the same height as everyone else.
But yes, he's not a tall dude.
No, he's
most martial
my
artists
height.
are not. It's much easier to do martial arts when you're small.
Yeah.
So yeah, but and you think about, like, it's not that shocking. Tom Cruise is 5'3", like,
Yeah.
you know, and there's just ways to make him seem taller on the television.
Oh yeah.
So
Always.
all right, so those are our 4 celebrity cameos.
Mm-hmm.
Always a nice, like, that's really, like, that shows you how big this movie was.
Yeah.
That they got those 4 celebrity cameos to
Yeah.
drop in here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, on to the main cast.
Yep.
Our main character is Peter LaFleur, played by the ever amazing Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
You recognize Vince Vaughn from any movies?
No.
All right, so
But I know him. But I know of him.
Yeah, so Vince Vaughn of Swingers fame.
Never seen it.
Great movie. Fantastic movie. Old School. The Breakup. All right. I'll
Never.
stop naming movies. I love Vince Vaughn. Again, he's also a right-winger, but I love Vince Vaughn. He's hilarious. I love his movies. He has that dry, sarcastic humor that I just absolutely fucking love.
Has he been in stoner movies? Cause
Yeah, like Old School.
no, didn't I see or no? Why am I thinking of Grandma's Boy?
Yeah, he's not in Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, no.
No, he's in Old School,
Okay,
which
I've
is
never seen Old School.
yeah, that's where the line "You're my boy, Blue" comes
Oh,
from.
okay.
Yeah, with Will Ferrell.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I have seen it.
Might have been a while ago.
Maybe.
But yeah, I love Old School. I'll make you watch Old School.
Of course.
Old School. Good stuff. Make Alicia watch a bonus movie. Old School.
Make Alicia watch a bonus movie. Not gonna have time to do anything else if all I'm doing is watching TV.
Well, you'll watch as much TV as you currently watch. It just won't all be Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, you leave
For
my
the 27th time.
Anatomy out of it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Next up, Mr. Ben Stiller as our evil guy, White Goodman.
Yeah.
All right, for you.
Who names their kid White?
I know, it's funny. I think it's funny, especially since he's the bad guy, right? And he's white. White you usually associate with the good guy. Mm-hmm. And they didn't even spell it W-I-G-H-T. No, it's W-H-I-T-E. White. Mm-hmm. Yep. Ben Stiller. If you don't know who Ben Stiller is, have you been living under a rock for 20 years? Like, Ben Stiller's amazing.
I know Ben Stiller.
Yeah, Ben Stiller's been in everything. Mm-hmm. So, good stuff from Ben Stiller. Our next character is Kate Veach, the have-to-have woman.
Yeah,
in your main character line, played by Christine Taylor. I think she did a fantastic job.
She did a really good job. I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
I really haven't. In fact, she's famous basically for one thing, aside from Dodgeball.
What's that?
Being Ben Stiller's wife at the time that Dodgeball was made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so even better with their on-screen, like, acting together.
Yeah.
They were actually married at the time.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's funny. That just makes it even funnier.
Yeah, I was saving that little tidbit for right now for you.
Yeah,
so you
now
could react
that makes that office scene just funnier. Like, I found it disgusting, but now that's funny.
Right. The whole thing, like when he shows up on her doorstep, like it's just so good.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Rip Torn as Patches O'Houlihan.
Yes. Now, I never realized his name was Rip Torn.
Yep.
And to me, that's like a really odd stage name to go by.
Yeah, it is. Agreed.
But I grew up with that voice.
Yeah, so she hears his voice, and she doesn't recognize him, but she hears his voice, and she's like, oh my god, it's Zed. It's Agent Zed.
Yes.
From Men in Black.
Yep, and I had to look him up because I knew him from something else because he was the voice of something while I was growing up. He's actually Zeus from Hercules, the Disney Hercules. And that's where I first heard his voice.
There you go.
So,
Agent Zed,
Yeah.
Zeus, it all works.
yes.
Maybe his... See, now maybe, since they just delete all but your first letter in Men in Black, maybe he was just Zeus taking human form in order to help humanity run the Men in Black. I mean, it works out perfectly.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that that's what they did.
Maybe.
Because so many people, right, so because of when Hercules had come out, and then when Men in Black came out, like, the kids who had watched Hercules would have been like the slightly older kids watching Men in Black.
Yes.
So I wonder if they actually did that and just decided, his name is Zeus, and we're just going to shorten it to Z.
Maybe.
Because that's how we do names in Men in Black. I'm going with it.
All right, we'll go with it.
In my head canon, that's the way it is.
All right, we'll go with it.
But yeah, so you gotta love Rip Torn, and he's amazing as Patches O'Houlihan. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
You should be able to dodge a wrench.
If you can dodge traffic, you can dodge a ball.
Now that's crazy. Now that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, so good. All right. Next up, Justin Long.
Yes.
Now, Justin Long is that nerdy...
Short kid.
Can't get the girl kid in every movie.
Yes.
I mean, he was the nerdy, can't get the... Or gets the girl kid, but is always worried about losing the girl and about her father in the Die Hard... like Die Hard 5.
Yeah.
With Bruce Willis. I think it was called Die Harder.
Yeah.
So he was that kid there. He's been that kid in a ton of movies.
Yeah, he's always that quirky kid that falls in love with the popular girl.
Right.
And,
And by the end ends up with her.
Yeah, I do think in one of his movies he actually was a cheerleader.
You might be right.
So, I do believe he was a cheerleader.
Okay.
So, I can't remember if it was a Bring It On movie or something else.
Well, he was a cheerleader in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he was in a Bring It On movie. One of the ones that went... Because I don't think it's the original one.
No, he's definitely
So it would have
not
been one of the
original.
direct-to-DVD ones that came after. But it wouldn't surprise me if he was.
Yeah.
All right. Next up after him, we have Joel David Moore, who plays Owen.
Owen is...
The team manager.
Okay.
The guy who orders the uniforms.
Oh, the tall, lanky guy.
Yes. So those of you out there who don't recognize him by name, he played JT
in Grandma's Boy. Yes.
I am a robot.
Yes. He wears all leather and stuff.
Dresses like he's in the Matrix.
So now that's funny that he got all that leather stuff in the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
Yeah, so this is the only other role I know him of is from Grandma's Boy.
Yes.
So
no, he plays in Avatar.
I've seen Avatar one time and I probably fell asleep because it's 37 hours long.
It's the 3-hour animated. It's not the
which is a far better
not
Avatar.
Not the cartoon Avatar. It's the I want to say it's computer animated because it is, but it's the 3-hour one that came out.
Yeah, it's the amazing best thing with the fucking weird blue people.
But I love that movie.
See, I saw it one time and I fell asleep because it's like 36 hours long.
Yeah, I fell asleep watching Tron in theaters, so I get it. But
Tron 2 wasn't nearly as good as Tron
he played
1,
one of the scientists in.
Okay. All right, yeah. So I was never a huge Avatar fan, except for the TV show Avatar: The Last Airbender,
right?
Which is amazing.
Never.
The movie was shitty as fuck. Oh, you're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The movie.
The movie was fucking atrocious, but of course it was because it was made by fucking M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, who has literally made one movie ever that I actually liked.
He's made a lot of movies.
He's made a lot of movies. Oh, absolutely. Like I said, he's made one movie that I absolutely like.
Which was what?
Devil.
Oh, that's the one in the elevator.
One with the old lady in the elevator. Not a big, huge... Like, I understood that Bruce Willis was dead in The Sixth Sense way too soon.
Yeah.
The fucking village or whatever is fucking stupid. Like, his movies, like, his twists just don't do it for me. And he made an atrocious version of Avatar: The Last Airbender as a movie. Like, completely decimated the show.
I don't remember if I know I watched it.
Put it this way: the two Polynesian characters, Inuit characters, in the TV show
Were played by
were
white
just
people.
played by white kids.
But that's what everyone does.
Not everyone. And you would think that a man who is a minority himself would know better.
Right.
Not to mention the fact that the movie was just awful.
Right.
Compared to the TV show.
Well, I'm not going to get into the whole whitewashing movies thing.
Right. But anyway, so you know him from Avatar.
Yes.
I know him from Grandma's Boy. You also know him from Grandma's Boy because they made you watch that.
Yes.
And that's a fantastic movie. If you've never seen it, just check out Grandma's Boy. So good. So funny. All right, last actor I really want to talk about is Mr. Jason Bateman, who's in everything, ever, and nobody knows who he is, for the most part. He played Pepper Brooks.
Okay.
One half of the dynamic announcing duo.
Okay.
So he was the one with the wild hair, sunglasses,
Yeah.
always wearing like the sport shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah.
Let's see if it pays off for him. Which is his response to them forfeiting the match.
Yeah.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But I guess it worked out for him.
it did. So yeah, this is my favorite Jason Bateman character.
Mm-hmm.
I love Pepper Brooks. I love the announcers in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's a theme for me. I love announcers in sports movies for the most part when they're not played by actual announcers.
Yes.
Except for Bob Uecker, because Bob Uecker was amazing. That's the guy from Major League.
Yes.
So,
Now, who plays the pirate?
it's some guy named like Joe Luddick or something like that. I don't know.
That's so helpful.
He's in like some things recently, but like nothing.
I know him mainly from Firefly, which you haven't watched and refuse to watch. So,
Well, I don't want to watch unfinished shit that's never going to be finished.
yeah, I know. But when I was watching it, it wasn't.
I would just get pissed off, like Terra Nova.
And Heroes?
And, well, no, Heroes finished.
No, it got cut because of the
Yeah, but
writers'
at least
strike.
they tied it up
Yeah, they tried.
into an ending.
Yeah.
Like, Terra Nova is just done. Like,
I know, I love
with like the
Terra Nova.
hugest cliffhanger ever. Like, oh my god, people had been there like hundreds of years before. I want to know more about this fucking. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Sorry.
Yeah.
Revolution. Same thing happened with that. Couldn't
Yeah.
finish that up. So, yeah. So no, I'm never gonna watch Firefly because why would I want to start myself setting up myself for the disappointment?
You watch SGU.
I know. It's the only show I can do myself because to me it's so good. It's
is
so
good.
good. And they leave it on a cliffhanger. But you know what? They leave it on a cliffhanger that I can accept as an ending.
Right.
Like I could accept that as we left you with this massive thing, do they survive or not? Like
Right.
I can accept that
Right.
out of sci-fi. So I get that one. But there's a few others that they did it too. Yes, SGU is Stargate Universe, by the way, is one of those shows that I wish had an ending, but doesn't. Although they did tie it up with the comic books.
Yeah, but
It's completely different.
Yeah.
I understand. But the person who was writing the showrunners,
yeah.
did say that what they put in the graphic novels is what they were going to use as the show going forward.
Then I'll have to read the graphic
And they did the
novels.
same thing with Jericho.
Yeah, I loved Jericho
Yeah, and they ended that one.
after 2 seasons.
Yep, and then they ended it with graphic novels.
Yeah.
So at least you got some closure out of those.
Yeah.
But no, never gonna watch Firefly.
Well, they ended
Plus,
that
I'm
one
not
with a movie.
Yeah, but I'm not a huge Joss Whedon fan either.
I am.
Oh,
But
but you're only a huge Joss Whedon fan because of Firefly.
I am, yeah.
Because you couldn't name me anything else he did.
Castle.
Okay. Alrighty then. Buffy.
Yep.
Alright. Anyway, so that's the cast of characters and the actors.
Yep.
So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back to break down Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's get into Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Ready, set, Dodgeball. No.
So it opens up at this really, really raunchy ass ad.
So this is basically take every gym stereotype you can think of. From douchey to the evil hot chicks to...
It's not even evil hot chicks. It's
just shots of their asses.
soliciting. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is an ad for Globo Gym, which is the gym set run by White Goodman, Ben Stiller's character.
So the women are hot, but you can't really tell that because the only shots of the women are of their ass in the black Spanx with Globo written in glitter across their cheeks.
Right. So what women wear?
Women don't wear that to the gym.
I've seen lots of women wear that. Maybe that was just back when I was in college.
Maybe back when you were in college. These days, women don't wear that.
Right. So we have to place the movie in its time.
Yes.
Which the pants or the shorts or the Spanx with the words on the ass were huge.
Yes.
In the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So this movie is a creature of its time.
Yeah.
So that is what you would see at the gym. Because when I was in college, that's what you saw at the gym.
Not even in the gym. You saw women wearing pants with like sweet or juicy written across their ass.
Fair enough. Absolutely. All over my college campus. And I was in college from 99 to 2003.
Yeah. And that's how you got people to look at your ass. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So.
Yeah. I was in high school. Yeah. And those pants were not allowed.
Yeah. In college, they were allowed just fine.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in college, you're an adult and you're meant to act like an adult.
Yeah. You're an adult.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. We were all adults. You could never tell by the amount of drinking and smoking that we did that we were all adults, but we were.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the gym that you like expect to see in like an infomercial these days, right? Like the hardcore gym, like come to our insanity class.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like women with 6-packs.
Oh, and let's not forget that we have a surgeon in the back who will take away all that fat and fix that chin and your nose.
That's my favorite part is they do on-site, affordable plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So they've got like McSteamy in the background doing plastic surgeries with Dr. Jackson.
Yeah.
Right there. And it comes to, which brings us one of my favorite lines of the movie. Take that Frankenstein that you see staring back at you in the mirror and turn it into a Frankenfine.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a scene of him rolling this guy out in a wheelchair, head to toe bandages, and he just pushes him off the stage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so funny. Yeah. I mean, he's just, he's meant to be an overly stereotypical douchebag gym owner.
Yes, he's got the mustache and everything.
Oh, my. And the hair.
The hair drives me nuts.
That is 90s hair.
Yes, and then he wears the freaking wrestling bodysuit with the inflatable penile cover.
Yeah, we were going to get to that because, yes, he has, so instead of like Reebok pump shoes or the pump up glove that we had in Little Big League, he has a pump up crotch in his wrestling singlet.
Yes.
Which is literally all he wears.
Yes.
Is this wrestling singlet, except for
when he's playing dodgeball.
Right. Or when he visits...
I think he's wearing it under the...
I
think he's wearing it
under the milkman suit.
It's the vanilla ice cream suit.
Oh, I just call it the milkman suit.
Well, it makes me think of the movie The Vanilla Ice Cream Suit.
I don't know what that is, but...
Edward James Olmos plays in it.
Well, we are going to have an Edward James Olmos movie on this podcast.
Are we?
Yes. One of my favorite baseball movies that is completely underrated, called A Talent for the Game.
Are you surprised I know his name is Edward James Olmos?
No, because he's the fucking commander from Battlestar Galactica.
He was Edward James Olmos before I knew he was commander.
Yeah. Well, but yes, I mean, everybody knows who after Battlestar Galactica, because even if you weren't a sci-fi fan, you watched Battlestar, because everybody watched Battlestar, and sci-fi's ratings for Battlestar show that.
Yeah.
And so everybody knows who Edward James Olmos is because of Battlestar Galactica. A lot of people knew him from before that, but a ton of people know him from Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. So, but yes, he will be making an appearance in the podcast. A Talent for the Game. Great movie. I love that movie. Okay. I think you've seen me watching parts of it.
Probably.
It's with the kid who's like a natural pitcher.
Okay.
And just can throws 175 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. So we will be getting to that. Talent for the Game. Okay. Great movie. Not sure exactly when.
Right.
But we will be getting to it because it's one of my faves.
But we digress.
Yep. So, so this is the gym that you if you're serious, if you're a douchebag who likes
or wannabe douchebag.
Right. Well, there's no thing as a wannabe douchebag.
No, it's a wannabe douchebag.
No, you're a douchebag who wants to be cool enough to be the douchebag that you are.
Right. True.
That's who these guys are.
Yeah.
like his consigliere Misha. The
Michelle.
giant Michelle, that's right. The
Michelle.
giant bald black guy who never says a word.
Yeah.
Except for like one sentence.
Oh, yeah, when he catches him masturbating with pizza. Yeah.
Well, he didn't even say anything then. What he says is, oh yeah, well it's the same scene when he talks about when Kate throws a dodgeball.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, so we cut from that gym to across the street.
Well, hold on. Because the way that the commercial ends, it ends because remember, we're better than you. And then everyone pointing at the TV. And then it shows that ad is playing on Average Joe's owner's TV at home.
Right. Yeah. And so we see a cut. Yeah. So Vince Vaughn wakes up.
Yep. On his couch.
Yeah, on his couch. So I want to talk about Vince Vaughn's character here because, okay, so he wakes up on his couch with his dog nuzzling his nuts.
Yep.
In his dirty ass apartment.
Yep.
His way too small, way too boxy TV for 2004 is playing.
Yep. He's got oh my god, what is it called? An answering machine.
An answering machine, which was not too uncommon at this point. Still.
That one, though, I had
no, that one was from like the 1980s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's got an answering machine and he's got messages on there. The one that we hear is...
We hear two.
Well, that's right. We hear first that his water's being turned off.
Yep.
Today.
Yep. Because
he hasn't paid the bill.
Yep.
And then we hear that his gym is going to be foreclosed now, which he just completely ignores.
No, that one was the rental... That was the movie rental place saying...
That's right.
You have...
Basically, you have outstanding balances on basically naughty nurses. Yeah.
And Mona Lisa Smile.
Yeah. Basically, you never brought back night nurses from Jersey, too.
Yeah, basically.
But one of them was literally like, teenage cum sluts 18 or something like that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got some outstanding video rentals.
He's got some outstanding bills.
Yep. And then so
he goes to the gym.
Brushes his teeth and heads off to the gym.
Which is right next to Globo.
Yeah, right across the street. It's hilarious. And he's got this little brick building.
Yes.
Which...
It's called Average Joe's Gym.
Yeah. So good. And he goes inside and there's various people. So we see the bald black guy that works at his gym who's running the counter with Owen.
Yep.
And then we get to Justin Long's character.
Yeah, who's all upset because he can't find a girl.
Not just that, but he's like got himself stuck.
Oh, no, I'm not thinking Justin Long. I'm thinking the tall blonde guy. What's his name?
The tall blonde guy?
Yeah, the one that you know from Grandma's Boy.
Okay, he's not blonde, but he's brown hair.
Yes, I know Justin Long is...
No. The Owen has brown hair.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, it's darkish brown. That's not blonde.
Okay.
But yeah, he can't find a girl.
Yeah, that's what he's upset about.
Yep. And so is Justin Long, actually.
Yeah, who is literally entangled in
the lap pull machine.
Yeah.
He's got himself all like twisted and hooked up inside the lap pull machine.
Yeah.
Which is literally one of the easiest machines in the gym to use.
Yes.
It's up there with a treadmill.
Yeah.
Might even be simpler because you can't fall off of it.
No, but you can get entangled in it, apparently.
Apparently. So, Peter helps him out, get loose from it.
Yeah. And he talks about how he's trying to join the cheerleading squad.
Yeah, he's getting pumped so he can actually make the cheerleading squad this year.
Yes.
And we get a little flashback, a little doodly-doo.
Oh my god, this flashback.
Why don't you tell us about Justin Long's tryouts for the cheerleading team last year?
Yeah. So he's joining because he's interested in the cheer captain.
Yep.
Her name's Amber Ashley or some blonde girl like
that.
Right,
generic white girl name.
Yes. And so he goes up, he gets called, and then the boyfriend,
who is like the other cheerleading captain,
it is Mega Douche.
Yep.
Calls the fattest girl who's trying out to pair with them.
Yep.
And she comes up and whispers in his ear that she's not wearing any panties.
Yeah. Now, mind you, this girl is the size of my desk.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty big desk.
Yes. And what they're supposed to be doing is he's supposed to be throwing her in the air and having her stand on his hands.
Yeah.
And then basically whatever it's called is she has to flip and then land in a sitting position on his hand.
Yes. Basically a basket catch.
Yes.
Essentially.
So he's dreading it, obviously.
So you all know Justin Long. He's tiny.
Yes, he's tiny. And this girl's 3 times his size.
Right. He has no visible muscle at all.
Yep. So they do somehow manage to get her standing on his hands.
Yeah, we don't see this. This is all off screen.
Yep. And then the next thing we know is she's falling. And the way they fall is basically 69 position.
Yeah, they fall in a 69 style.
And they're having trouble getting her ass detached from his face.
Yep. And finally they do, and he sits up and...
gasping for air.
Yep. And all covered with wetness on his face.
Yeah, you hear the sucking sound as her ass comes off his face.
Yeah, so it wasn't her ass.
No, it wasn't her ass.
And Vince Vaughn's like, ooh, well, keep it up. Don't worry about it. You're going to do fine.
And at this point, Matt was like, okay, you need to go smoke something.
Yeah, this is about the time I told her to go smoke some pot.
I was like, these days, that's assault.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh,
so poor Justin Long's character.
Yeah.
And then we don't get too long of a break before the bald white guy, the older, say mid-40s guy.
The nerd, yeah.
Yeah, the mid-40s nerd guy. Think of Dana Barrow's neighbor from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
About 20 years older.
Yeah. So he's bald, he's round, he's got the big goggle glasses.
He's got the mail-order bride from some Asian country.
Which we discover later.
Yeah, so
but
that's this guy.
But he's got the Walkman, and he's got, like, the wristbands and the headband. And, yeah.
And he's all working out, and he's pumped. He's talking. I did 75 hours on the treadmill this morning. I'm going to do another 30 hours on the little bench press.
And this guy's not that strong, but he also seems like he's very socially awkward because he likes to just keep talking regardless of whether or not he knows what he's talking about.
Right, which is why I equate him to Dana Barrow's neighbor in Ghostbusters, because he does the same thing.
Yeah, he just likes to talk regardless.
Yeah, because he's nervous around her, so he just keeps talking about random shit.
Yes.
Around her. Yeah, absolutely. So Vince Vaughn sends him on his way and tells him, I'm going to check back in with you. I want you on a different machine.
Yeah.
And so the guy just hustles off. The half hustle walk that you see some people do at the gym.
Yeah.
The half hustle walk that doesn't really actually move you any faster.
No.
It just looks like you're going faster in slow motion.
Yeah.
That's what he does as he goes away.
Yeah. And then he gets assaulted by a pirate.
Yes. So then Steve the pirate shows up and pushes Peter LaFleur up against the wall and puts a knife to his neck.
Yes.
And tells him, I'm going to be a bit late with my payment this month.
Yeah.
And Peter's like, that's fine. No big deal.
Yeah, $2 here, $2 there, we're fine. Yeah. He's like, oh, okay.
But first he goes, no, I'll never be in another man's debt. What I'll do is I'll split you in on my pirate treasure when I find it.
Yes.
And Vince Vaughn's just like, it's not necessary. Just $2 here, whatever you can spare. $2 here, $2 there. And so the pirate guy heads off.
Yes.
This gym is a cluster. This is the kind of gym I would belong to.
Is it now?
Absolutely, because how fun would this place be?
I don't think any of them go home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We just hang out there and play fucking dodgeball.
Yeah.
Like, this place seems amazing.
Yeah.
So this is where we need to talk about Peter's character. Because I know Peter's type.
Yeah.
I know who Peter is. I know how Peter grew up.
Okay.
So Peter is, well, first of all, let's get him into the meeting with Kate.
Yes.
And then we'll talk about his character because there's some things in there as well that we need to talk about.
Yes.
So after the interaction with Steve the pirate, he heads up to his office.
Yes.
And there is a very attractive blonde woman in a nice pantsuit sitting in his office. Well, a skirt suit.
Yes.
Sitting in his office waiting for him.
Yes.
And
she's a banker.
Yep. Well, first of all, he's like, I mean, nice to see you. It's not my birthday, though.
Yeah.
Like, expecting her to be a stripper or something.
Yeah.
She's not.
No.
She's a banker. Yep. Actually, a lawyer.
Yeah, for the bank.
Who handles mostly... What does she mostly handle after he's talking about her being a stripper?
Sexual assault cases.
Sexual harassment cases. But sometimes she dabbles in bank stuff.
Yes.
So she's been assigned because his property is in foreclosure.
And And somebody is putting an offer on the table.
Yes. So basically, what it comes down to is he has 30 days to pay the entirety of his remaining mortgage.
Which is $50,000.
Right. Which, by the way, that shows you how old this movie was, because if you could get a nice brick building in a city for $50,000 mortgage, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, we have one in town here that we would like to buy that's 3 times that price.
Yeah.
For a smaller building.
And it's completely gutted.
And it's a smaller town.
Yeah.
So, who knows? But, yeah, so that's a pretty good price on that mortgage. But he hasn't paid, like, basically any of it.
No. And she's like, well, where are your...
Receipts.
Where are your receipts?
All your expenditures and things like that. So he shows her.
Opens up the closet.
Yeah.
And everything comes falling out.
Yes. And it's great.
That's how I keep records of my paperwork, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's how way too many people keep records. Alright, so he has just this giant closet just stuffed with boxes. Nothing's in order. Nothing's where it should be. None of it's organized. So her job is essentially to go through all of this.
Yep.
And prepare the property.
She can look at it right now and say, when was the last time you actually took a customer's payment?
Yeah, because he doesn't know, because it's been quite some time. And so she's not excited about her job at the moment.
No, because it's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, because way too much work.
Yes, way too much work.
So
she doesn't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah. So let's talk about Peter.
Yes.
Peter is most likely was the popular jock guy in high school.
Right.
Right? The guy who was never, like, super in shape, but was, like, probably played basketball, football, baseball. Probably dated a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Or several cheerleaders. Probably had a nerdy kid do his homework for him.
Right.
Possibly even white. Who seems like back then he was the nerdy fat kid.
Yeah.
And so he figured, great, like, I am super, like, in charge of the world.
Yeah.
At that time. However, then after school, he would have discovered that, when the only thing you're good at in life is being the popular jock guy, once you get out of school, that doesn't do much for you.
No, it doesn't.
What it leaves you with is a little bit of money to buy a gym that you don't really care about running and never paying the bills on it and having a shitty apartment that has furniture and shit from the 1980s still.
Yeah. It came furnished and you're lucky you've got what you've got. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So that is Peter, I'm assuming.
Seems pretty damn accurate.
Yeah. So now Peter, of course, has to go have a meeting with all of his guys.
Yes.
About closing the gym down.
Mm-hmm.
Because
there's no way he can come up with $50,000 in a month.
Yep, absolutely not. And so they're throwing ideas back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first he goes and talks to White. Because White's the one who's buying his gym.
Yes.
Because he's going to turn it into a parking lot.
Yes.
Since it's right across the street from his gym.
Yeah.
And that doesn't go well.
No.
So,
well, first, I find the whole thing funny that there's two gyms right next to each other.
Right.
Because there's, like, zoning policies and laws that two of the same company can't be right next to each other. Or two competing companies for the same thing can't be within so many feet of each other. Because, like, they have those for pizza places and massage offices and stuff like that.
I mean, I guess, but then you look at, like, just go to Binghamton and look at Red Robin and the other restaurant right there in the same building.
Red Robin?
Yeah, that does the burgers. And then right next to that is the one we want to go out where I eat the burritos.
Oh. But they're two different styles of food.
I mean, I guess.
But restaurants, it's a different thing. But, like, for competing companies, like, two gyms can't be in the same plaza kind of thing.
In a big city, it's a little different.
Right.
Because they expect more
except
competition.
You don't see anything out of the city except for this one block.
Right. But, yeah, all we see is this one street.
Yes.
Actually, this one corner.
Of a block.
Right, that has the two buildings on opposite sides of the streets.
Yep.
So after he talks to White and is thoroughly disgusted by White because he's white.
Not just the color white, like his name
Right,
is white.
he's
Yeah.
white.
Stupid cat.
So then he heads back over and talks to his guys and tells them, look, we're fucked. Gym's going to have to close.
Yep.
And all these guys are like, no, like, we need the gym, but we don't want to go to a gym because everybody's going to make fun of us at a regular gym.
Yes.
Which I get. I understand that thought, that thinking.
Yes.
So they're trying to come up with...
Not that these guys are even paying to be there.
No, but, I mean, some of them work there. Like, it's their jobs.
Yeah. So,
like, Owen works there, and the black guy who says, like, 3 things works there.
Yes.
I assume Justin Long maybe works there after school, maybe?
No, I think he's just a member.
But anyway, they're all upset that the gym's going to close because they like the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all trying to brainstorm ways to come up with the money.
Yes.
Now, the older white guy, I forget his name, he is a very big fan of obscure sports, like me.
Yes.
And he even reads Obscure Sports Quarterly.
Yes.
The magazine.
Is that a real magazine?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I highly doubt it.
OSQ?
OSQ.
Yeah.
But he reads that, and he sees an ad in there. $50,000 Dodgeball World Championship.
Yeah.
Ah.
Or is it World or National? No, it's World.
World Championship. $50,000 prize to the winning team in Vegas. And all they have to do is win a qualifying match to get in.
Yes.
So they're like, okay, well, let's do that then.
Yep.
Like, we're going to save the gym.
Yes.
So this is the big plan to save the gym is they're going to play dodgeball.
Well, first they tried a car wash.
Oh, God, yes. First they tried a car wash.
They tried the all-male car wash.
Yep. Which just happens to have a bunch of sorority sluts in bikinis doing a car wash right across the street.
Yes.
So they made all the money.
Yep.
Except for from one guy.
Who him and his dog sat outside and watched Justin Long clean his tires.
In a pair of Spanx.
With a toothbrush.
Yep, in a pair of Spanx.
Yeah, very disgusting.
Him and his pit bull.
Yep, so this car wash actually cost them more money.
Yes, they actually spent more money on it than because I got to tell you, I'm going to the sorority girl car wash instead.
Of course you are.
And so are you. Don't lie to me. You see those 2 car washes, which one are you going to?
I'm not going to the one with the creepy guys.
Right, exactly. You have to pick a car wash. There's no choice. You have to go to one. You're going to one with the hot sorority girls.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go to the one with the creepy looking guys.
Right, exactly. So understood. They got their asses kicked.
Yes.
So this is when they decide, okay, we're playing dodgeball.
Mm-hmm.
Because that didn't work. So their first match, they have to play a qualifying tournament.
And it's only 2 teams.
And only 2 teams show up for this qualifier.
Yep.
It's them and a team of Girl Scouts.
Yes. They originally thought it was Boy Scouts.
Yes. So it's a bunch of grown men versus a bunch of tweeny girls.
Yes.
And the tweeny girls kick their asses.
Yeah.
100%.
One girl gets hit and she starts crying about why he would hit a girl.
And then he got hit.
You know, that's funny because I probably would have done the same thing.
Right. Why would you hit a girl even though it's what you're supposed to do? Yeah. And so they get decimated by this Girl Scout team.
Well, these guys don't even know how to play dodgeball.
No, they don't. Now, there is a man in the crowd watching this tournament.
Yes.
Patches O'Houlihan.
Yes.
Who is the former greatest dodgeball player in the world.
Yes.
Who even did a instructional video on dodgeball that they watched in gym class one day.
Black and white, yeah.
Yep. Where you learn the 5 Ds of dodgeball.
Yep.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yes.
Which is put on by the American Dodgeball Association of America.
Yeah. The ADAA.
The ADAA, American Dodgeball Association of America. So Patches sees them lose this match, but they are awarded the victory because there's a problem with one of the girls on the Girl Scout team. What is that problem?
She tested for multiple steroids.
And?
Drugs.
Nope. And?
Some kind of tranquilizer.
A beaver tranquilizer.
Yeah. So this girl that did not play the game at all is now all of a sudden standing there looking like a boy.
With a mustache.
With a mustache and hairy arms.
Put it this way. Jonathan Brandis fit in better with the girls' soccer team in Ladybugs than this girl does on this Girl Scout dodgeball team.
Yeah, this girl didn't even play.
Yeah, she didn't even play, but she tested positive for steroids and a low-level beaver tranquilizer.
Yeah.
And her name's like Bernice or Beatrice or something.
It's Bernice.
Bernice, yeah.
Yep. So
oh my God.
But she starts crying, and it's clearly a boy's cry.
Yes.
But which is funny because they drug tested everyone, but none of the weed that the other guys smoke seemed to show.
You don't know there's any weed.
I am almost 100% certain that at least 5 of those 6 guys on their team smoke weed.
Okay. Well, those aren't performance-enhancing drugs.
No.
So that's okay. So they're awarded the victory, which means that they get to go on to Vegas to compete in the tournament and get their chance at $50,000.
Yes.
So they go out to the bar to celebrate.
Yes.
Kate comes with them because she wants Peter to keep his gym.
Yes.
Now.
Oh, who did we meet at the dodgeball tournament? We met the old guy's mail order bride and his 2 kids. Yeah.
They
do L for love.
Yes. So as he points out his wife, she does the L in front of the forehead loser thing. And he goes, "Yep, that's my sweetie. L for love. It's a little thing we do."
Yeah.
And Peter's like, "You guys just keep doing you."
Yeah, because one of them go to correct them, and they're like, "Nope, cover his mouth, don't let him talk."
Yep. So that's great.
Yeah.
So they go to celebrate.
Yes.
And as they're having beers, all the guys plus Kate is there, which. Sure. She's
off the clock.
I mean, why? She's off the clock,
yes.
Exactly. And she's been hanging out at the gym.
Yeah.
Because that's where she has to work.
Yeah.
So, all of a sudden, White shows up.
Yes. But how does White... We completely missed this. How does White know...
That's right. Okay, so...
that they're joining the dodgeball tournament.
That's right. So White delivers a message to Peter via a giant white cardboard cutout.
Yes.
That basically says, "Your gym is mine," and it has discount coupons to join Globo Gym.
Yes.
For everybody who works and or trains at Average Joe's. And it has a camera in it.
Yes.
In the eyes.
Yes. I thought it was really weird that the eyes were glowing bright red when we first saw it.
Right. Yep.
And then I realized later...
Why would White put a thing out there that makes him look evil? Yeah. Like on purpose. Exactly. But yeah, so it records they're going to play dodgeball.
Yeah.
And also records Kate being there.
Yes.
And agreeing with them they should play dodgeball.
Yes.
So that causes White to know that they played in this tournament and show up at their after party at the bar.
Yeah. Because now they're going to, because for this regional tournament, there's 2 teams from the same region now going.
Right. So White shows up and doesn't have to play in a qualifying tournament because the guy who's in charge of the whole ADAA is a member of Globo Gym who White helped get into shape for bathing suit season.
Yes.
1 year.
Yeah.
So he owes him a favor.
Yes.
So White's just automatically in the field of 32.
Yes.
And he brings his new team of dodgeballers to the gym with him.
Yes.
So it's him.
Michelle.
It's Michelle, his health consigliere.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Laser.
Yeah.
These are basically just imagine American Gladiators.
Yeah.
And these are the guys. There's a guy named Laser and a guy named Blazer.
Yeah.
And then there is his secret weapon from Romania.
Who's not a member. Or who's not she's not a gym member.
No. And so it's the deadliest woman with a dodgeball in the world.
Yes.
And she shows up and, oh God.
Yeah. She's got the big buns. By buns, I mean the hair buns.
Yep.
She's got a unibrow. And she makes me think of the German soldier in The Fifth Element, who was selected to go as the wife.
Yes, and a giant mole on top of her lip.
And Owen falls in love with her.
Love at first sight when Owen sees her.
Yes.
So, rock on, Owen.
Yeah, whatever, dude. You do you.
You do you.
Yeah.
And basically, White just is there to trash talk them and tell them they're going to lose and that his gym is still Peter's and all this good stuff. And then they cause a big scene by causing the waitress to fall into the table.
With like 10 plates of food.
Yeah, gets all over everybody, and then White leaves because he's a dick.
Yep.
And then as Peter and the boys are leaving, Peter is approached by Patches O'Houlihan, who happens to also have been at the bar.
Yep.
And tells him that he's going to train them to play dodgeball.
Yes. Now, one thing we haven't mentioned so far, that Patches O'Houlihan is now wheelchair bound.
Yeah, he's scooter bound.
Yep.
Played by Rip Torn.
Yes.
Long hair, still wears his bomber jacket though.
With lots of patches on it, yeah.
Patches. Patches O'Houlihan, get it?
Yep. He's batshit fucking crazy. Now,
he's great.
Now, I thought everyone else in this movie so far was crazy. Patches O'Houlihan is like 10 times.
Cranks it up to a Spinal Tap 11.
Which is weird because I think his humor is hilarious.
This is the crudest humor in the movie. Okay.
I know.
Okay. But then again, you don't like the dry, sarcastic humor that I like.
Right.
That's not your style. That's my style of humor. I love that. Which is why I love Vince Vaughn, because that's what he does.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Dry humor is not my thing. Crude humor,
you do like.
I do like
some of it, as long as you think it's funny. Yeah, it's got to be outlandish and over the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next morning, everybody's at the gym, and they are going to start their training.
Yes.
First order of business is to learn how to dodge.
Yes.
Learn your 5 Ds.
Yeah. Now, this scene makes me think of, we just watched Space Jam.
Yes.
All the tunes trying to play basketball and not knowing how to play basketball. So here's all these guys here not knowing how to play dodgeball.
Yeah, exactly. So Justin Long is the worst.
Yeah.
Absolutely the worst.
Yeah. You'd think with knowing how to be a cheerleader, he'd move a bit quicker.
Yeah. I mean, he moves quick. He just has no coordination.
Yes.
Can't catch the ball at all.
Well, yes.
Can barely dodge it.
Yep.
Can barely dip it. Can barely dive.
Yep.
Can barely duck.
Yep.
And can barely dodge it again.
Yes.
So Patches decides, okay, yeah, we're not training with balls to start with. We're going to use a little more of a stick instead of the carrot.
Yes. Now, is this before or after Kate throws the ball?
This is before.
Okay.
So he breaks out a bag of wrenches.
Yeah.
And tells them, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. And Justin Long has questions. And as he's starting to ask his question, Patches just whips a wrench right into his face.
Yeah. And surprisingly, he gets no ocular damage. You know,
it just hits him right in the face.
Yeah, there's like no damage to his face. I mean, granted, he's like writhing on the floor, but there's no blood, you know. Yeah. He's perfectly fine. There should have been, like...
Well, you need him for the rest of the movie.
Yes, while I get that that's like a humor thing...
It still annoys you? This movie is all about being over the top and outlandish.
I know. It always surprises me when somebody does something in a movie that's supposed to actually cause harm, and it doesn't.
Right.
And that, for some reason, always annoys me.
Yeah. So we get like a little montage of dodging wrenches, trying to dodge balls, dodging traffic.
Failing, yes.
Failing at all. The poor old white guy with the bald hair gets like smashed by like 20 cars trying to dodge traffic.
Bald hair?
Bald-haired guy, yeah. The bald-haired. He gets hit by like 20 cars trying to dodge traffic. Yes. And he ends up fine.
Oh, yeah, he's perfectly fine. No damage whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. The next real thing of importance we see is they're continuing to practice dodgeball in the gym.
Is this when Kate comes in?
Yeah, and the ball gets away from them, and Kate picks it up.
Yep.
And they're all, hey, throw it here. And Patches is like, oh,
because they're trying to throw the ball at the cutout of White.
Right, using that as practice, trying to hit it. And none of them can.
Nope.
And Patches calls her, princess or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she goes underhanded softball pitching style.
Yeah.
And whips the ball at the giant cutout of White.
And
what
knocks
happens?
his head off.
Knocks the head clean off.
And kills the camera.
Yep. And the camera feed dies. And so from now on, Patches calls her a lesbian.
Yes.
Because she can sport.
Yes.
So therefore, she's got to be a lesbian.
Yep.
And Peter and everybody else wants her to be their secret weapon, but she can't because that's a conflict of interest.
Yes.
Now, we cut across to the Batcave across the street.
Where Michelle is watching the video feed.
Yeah, and sees Kate throw the ball.
Yep.
And he immediately has to do some printouts and rush it to White. This is... You need to describe this scene. I can't.
This scene is fucking obnoxious. So, White deprives himself of all pleasure foods.
Because he used to be a fat guy.
Yes, he used to be like over 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Fat guy. Like, oh my god, what's his name in Austin Powers?
Doesn't matter.
Anyways, so he deprives himself of all pleasure foods.
Yeah.
And here he is, he's got a piece of pizza, and he's sniffing it, and he starts putting it down his pants.
Rubbing it on his crotch.
Yes. As Michelle comes running in.
Right, so you got Ben Stiller standing there with pizza hanging out of his shorts.
Yes.
While Michelle explains to him that the average Joe's has a secret weapon in Kate.
Yes.
Because she can actually play dodgeball. They're
Yes.
getting better. Mm-hmm. And they now lost their camera.
Yes.
And this scene is hilarious and awkward and creepy all at the same time.
Yes, because he's like trying to hide the fact that he was masturbating with pizza. And meanwhile, he's got the pizza literally hanging out of the top of his shorts.
Yes. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So the next thing we get is a meeting with White and Kate.
Yes.
And he tells her that she's lucky because he has had her fired so that she can date him.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, because he tells her that at her house.
No.
Not
yeah.
in the meeting in the...
Well, that's right. That's right, yeah. So they have the meeting about her,
yes.
basically. And how she won't date him because it'd be a conflict of interest.
Yeah. He's like, he pumps up his fake penis pump.
Yeah.
And he sits as close to her as he can. And he tries to look smart when she comes in because he's reading the dictionary. It would have been funnier if it was upside down.
It would have been better, yeah. Or if there had been like a porno inside of the dictionary dust jacket or something.
Yeah. So he's trying to make himself seem articulate when really he's not.
Yeah. Learned it in a book, he says.
And then he proceeds to sit in the chair next to her and get as close as he can with his penis pump.
Yes. And she's not having any of it. Yeah, she's not having any of it. And the scene is so great when you realize that they're actually married because they do this. They play this scene so well.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were married at the scene.
Yeah.
So.
Sadly, they're not married anymore. They separated, but whatever. So then that leads to him firing her.
Yes, he shows up at her house later that night in the vanilla ice cream suit.
Yes.
And proceeds to say, "You can date me now, because
I got you fired.
I said you were drinking and smoking on the job."
Yep. And stealing and shit on the job. And she's like, "You thought you would come here and that I would want to date you after you got me fired." And he's like, "Yes, sweetheart, absolutely."
Yep.
And then it gets a little aggressive.
Yeah.
He pins her up against the wall
and
tells her, "Don't worry, you'll be mine." And that's when Peter shows up.
Yes.
To save the day.
Yes.
And basically throws White the fuck out of there.
Yeah, he tells him to walk away, and then White goes to, like, touch her face, and she, like, kicks his ass.
Yep. And so he snaps his fingers, and Michelle shows up on a fucking scooter to pick him up.
Powder blue scooter.
Yep. Yeah. And takes White away.
At the snap of a finger, he's, like, right around the block.
Yeah. And then as Kate is going to thank Peter, he just lets himself into her apartment.
Yes.
Or her house. And holy fuck.
Yes. Now, I thought somebody I know had a horse obsession. That is nothing compared to Kate's apartment.
She is really into unicorns.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes.
This is like a 9-year-old girl's dream living room.
Yes. It's got statues. It's got like the glittery...
the snow globes.
Yeah.
It's got a giant unicorn from
Posters.
a fucking merry-go-round.
Yeah, it's got a carousel unicorn. It's,
Holy crap.
Like, the only thing missing is unicorn gum machine.
Yeah.
Gumball machine. Like, even her wine glasses have, like, the metal unicorns all the way around it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so
she's as weird as the rest of them.
Yeah, by far.
Yes.
Absolutely. So she fits right in, which is why, of course, she loves the lovable slacker guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she agrees to play dodgeball on their team. Now that she's been fired, there's no conflict of interest.
Yes.
So she agrees to play on their team and dodgeball. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break here, then we're going to head off to Las Vegas for the World Dodgeball Association Championships.
Yes, we are.
And close this bad boy out. All right, so we arrive in Vegas.
Yes.
For the World Dodgeball Association Championships.
Yes.
First thing happens is the Average Joe's guys are walking through the casino hotel where this is going to be held. And Justin's would-be girlfriend just happens to also be in Vegas this week
For a cheerleading competition. And she's there with her douchebag boyfriend.
Who's the co-captain.
Yes.
So, Justin, of course, gets all creepy.
Yep.
And, sputters and stutters and can't talk straight.
Yep.
And
So, the cheerleaders go away, and one of his teammates go, "Don't worry, he'll probably fall out of a roller coaster and break every bone in his body."
Yep. So put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Because this is that kind of movie.
Uh-huh.
So put a pin in that. And they head to the locker room.
Yep.
To start getting ready. And that's when we get Pepper and Cotton starting their commentary from ESPN 8 The Ocho.
Yes.
Where Pepper breaks down the tournament. 32 teams. That means 4 wins are going to get you into that final match with that 5th win, getting you that $50,000 that everybody's here for.
Yep. And you see everybody in all their matching uniforms. You see a bunch of the other teams.
A lot of the locker room, for some reason, is crotch shots and ass shots of the Asian team.
Yes.
In, their freaking, loincloths, essentially.
I don't know what they're called, but they do call them diapers in the movie.
Yes.
So I know there's a traditional name for them.
Correct.
Because they're used in a lot of the sumo wrestling.
Yep, they are.
But I don't remember what they're actually called.
Right. And Owen tells the team that he's ordered them special new uniforms.
Yes.
So that they don't have to wear the old ratty Average Joe's ones.
Well, because policy is everyone has to wear the same
uniform.
Yes.
So, the package shows up and they open it.
It's not the uniforms.
It's not their uniforms.
No.
And we and they start pulling it out.
And it's like dominatrix stuff, like collars.
It's all BDSM outfits. Which is hilarious.
Yeah. So, they have to make do.
Yeah.
A screenshot to a bunch of older people, probably in the same hotel.
Biker guys and girls.
Yep.
BDSM guys.
Yes.
There for a convention for themselves.
Yep. They open up their box, and it's a bunch of the Average Joe's uniforms.
Yeah. So, they have to make do. Yeah. So, the first team that they're playing, I believe, is the Germans.
Yes.
So this is where we get the David Hasselhoff yelling at his team before the match. And then Average Joe's is introduced after a really nice dance compilation by the cheerleaders for the event.
Yes, because apparently Dodgeball has cheerleaders.
Absolutely. Boxing has ring girls. Dodgeball can have cheerleaders.
Okay.
In their nice skin-tight purple outfits.
I thought it was pink. Because they even had the knee-high feather boots.
Okay, maybe it was pink, but whatever. Same idea.
Yeah.
And then Average Joe's comes out.
Everybody goes dead.
There's a gasp, and wow.
Yeah, because Kate somehow found an outfit that fit, so she's at least covered.
In a nice halter top bustier with her boobs falling out the top.
And leather shorts. The manager, Owen, has a
bit bar in his mouth.
Bit
in his mouth.
And nipple clamps.
Yeah, and just leather straps covering him. And Vince Vaughn has a full-on leather jacket with leather shorts and a choker that says daddy.
Yes.
And so they play dodgeball in this.
Yes.
They're trading back and forth, players, ins and outs.
Yeah.
But Average Joe's is able to pull out the victory against the German team.
Who apparently was the winners last year.
Yes. So strange that they weren't better.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a new
I think they were thrown
year.
Off from
the outfits.
The outfits, absolutely.
Like everybody was, yeah.
Yep.
So Average Joe's wins, and then we smash cut to them leaving and running into
the old people wearing their jerseys.
Yeah, and there's this really old guy in the middle, and Vince Vaughn goes, "You must be daddy."
Gives them the collar, yeah.
So they have their uniforms back.
Yes.
So then we go to match 2.
Yeah. Well, we see it a little montage of other people
playing. Yeah. Globo Jim is winning.
Yeah.
The Asian team gets their ass kicked.
Yeah. The street kid. I want to say street kids. It's not. They're
the street
rappers.
Team, the rappers. They win because they're gonna end up playing Average Joe's in the semifinals.
Yep.
Or the quarterfinals or something.
Yeah. There's a bunch of really odd teams.
It's stereotype. Each team is a stereotype.
Yes, absolutely.
Except for Global. Oh, even they're a stereotype.
Yes.
Yeah. So every team is a stereotype.
Yep.
So we get match 2.
There's a team called the MILFs.
Yes.
Yeah. They didn't make it past.
No, they lost
in that first round.
Yep. We get a match 2 with Average Joe's. I forget who they play, but this one basically everybody gets out except for the nerdy white older bald guy.
Yes.
And so
they call timeout.
Yep. Patches calls a timeout and tells him he needs to get angry.
Yes.
And he looks over at his wife, who is flirting with generic, your mom just got divorced, and is flirting with the neighbor who talks about his brand new Windows guy.
Yeah.
Who's got the coif back hair.
Yeah, and he's tall and kind of handsome looking, but not really, but the mom is laughing.
Yeah, he's not network TV handsome.
Yeah.
He's late night Skinamax softcore porn handsome.
Yeah.
That's who this guy is.
Yeah. And the kids are ignoring it and staring at Dad, and these kids look just like Dad.
Yep.
They have the glasses and everything. So now he's mad.
So now he's pissed.
Yeah.
And he goes out there by himself single-handedly.
Yeah.
Takes out the entire other team.
Yes.
By himself.
Yes.
Just goes on a fucking rampage.
Yes.
And boom, they win again.
Mm-hmm.
And match 3 is nothing to talk about, really.
Right.
It's just kind of generic because now they got 2. They win match 3.
Yeah.
And now they've got 2 more matches left: the semifinals and the finals.
Yep.
So after match 3, they're walking through the hotel.
Yep.
And no, not yet. Not yet. They're not. They go to match 4, the semifinals. Yep. And this one, they're playing these lumberjacks.
Yes.
For some reason. Match 3 was against the street team, the hood team, as they want you to believe. Who basically just stand out there and do hip-hop dancing while getting hit with dodgeballs.
Yes.
So it's amazing that they even made it to the quarterfinals, but they did.
Yep. In their baby blue fuzzy hats.
Yeah.
Matching jackets.
Yeah, powder blue. Yeah, they look like a bunch of pimps.
Yeah.
This whole time, we just get great commentary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you don't like it or not. We get great commentary from Cotton and Peter. Or Cotton and Pepper.
Yeah.
Just all sorts of shit. Later on, we're going to get a line that's just fantastic, where it's a 2-on-1, and, it's a menage a trois of pain, and Pepper drops in. Usually you pay double for that kind of action.
Yeah. Pepper's Pepper's the stoner of the TV
So so in commentary for sports, you have your play-by-play announcer, who's generally the more serious guy and pays attention to what's actually happening on every play.
Yep.
And then they mix him with what's called the color commentary guy. Usually this is a guy who...
Color commentary?
Color commentary.
Okay. Who
has played the sport and therefore has like inside stories to tell. So he brings additional commentary because you can't just have this is the play, this is the play. You got to mix some things in there. So you bring a color commentary guy in there who has stories about playing the sport, about the people who are playing the sport that he's met and talked with and that sort of thing to kind of bring a little bit of extra life into the conversation about the sport.
Okay.
So Pepper is the color commentary guy here. You can tell that he's like an extreme sport guy. Just by the way he dresses.
Because of his dodgeball tattoo on his neck.
Right, so he's obviously a dodgeball player because he's got a literal dodgeball tattoo around his neck.
Yeah.
He's always wearing some sort of like sports team shirt.
Yeah, and he's got this headband that keeps his spikes up like mowed grass.
Yep.
And then he's got the sunglasses.
Sunglasses on top of that. Yeah. And then the other guy, Cotton, he wears the pants
the khakis and the
button-up shirt and is more serious about things. Yeah. So that's who they are as far as commentators go.
Pepper reminds me of a kid out of a TV show I used to watch called Rocket Power.
Enlighten us, because I don't know it.
They lived on the beach and they loved to surf, and so they always had like the necklace and the sunglasses, and the one kid always had that headband that kept his hair up.
Okay.
So that's what he reminded me of.
Okay. Yeah. So he's like the too cool for school. He's the guy who should be commentating the X Games.
Yes.
That's who Pepper is.
Yeah.
So he's the color commentary guy to go along with the boring Cotton McKnight.
Yeah.
Who still has some hilarious lines himself, and we'll get to my favorite line of the movie later after the final match when he says one of the most hilarious things to ever go on broadcast television.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know the line or not. We'll see.
Probably not.
All right. So so they beat the street guys and get into the quarterfinal or get into the semifinal match
with the Lumberjacks
against the Lumberjacks.
Yep.
And this match does not go well for Average Joes.
No.
Somehow they're getting their asses kicked, and basically they're down at this point to just Justin Long.
Yes.
Everybody else is out.
Yeah.
And the other team still has, I think this is where there's a 2-on-1. So the other team still has two guys, and Globo Jim is down to just Justin. Not Globo Jim.
Average Joe's.
Average Joe's is down to just Justin Long.
Yes.
And this is where we get it's a menage a trois of pain.
Yes.
Oh, usually you have to pay double for that, Cotton.
Yeah.
And so, of course, everybody's expecting Average Joe's to lose because Justin Long completely sucks still.
Yes.
He can't catch anything. He can't hit anybody.
Yep.
And so the other two have the dodgeballs, and they throw them both at him basically at the same time. He manages to dodge one and then catch one.
Yes.
Which brings Peter back into the game.
Yep.
And then as soon as Peter walks on the court, he catches one, which brings Kate back into the game. Yep. And now we've completely switched, and we're down to a 3-person win for Average Joe's.
Yep.
After, so now we have the unexpected hero, Justin Long, bringing it home for the team with that, clutch catch.
Yep.
And that's where, after this match, they're walking through the casino portion of the hotel. Yes. And
I saw this coming a mile away.
Everybody saw this coming a mile away, yeah. Absolutely.
Everyone knows if you're working on something like that, you block off the area and you let them detour.
Yeah, so we start off with the establishing shot of a team of workers installing a new giant Luck of the Irish
restaurant
sign, giant 1,000-pound sign over a walkway in the hotel.
Yes.
And Justin Long is asking Peter if he really thinks they have a chance to win the $50,000 the next day against Globo Gym. And Peter says, as long as we've got Patches, O'Houlihan, I think we're going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, the giant sign falls and crushes Patches to death.
Yes.
Right then and there. As Peter notes, our team manager was crushed by 2,000 pounds of irony.
Yes. Yep.
Right, because O'Houlihan, Irish name, crushed by a Luck of the Irish sign. Yeah.
Yep. So now they're all drinking at the bar because they don't know what they're going to do.
Right. Yep. They have no idea what's going on. Peter is basically accepted that they're going to lose at this point.
Yep.
So he
goes back to his room
and has a meeting with White, who's waiting there with not Michelle, but another guy who looks like Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man on steroids.
Right.
If you know 80s wrestling, you'll know who I'm talking about. I thought it was
Michelle, but okay.
No, remember, it's a white guy.
Okay.
So it's basically Ted DiBiase's jacked up brother. And he has destroyed the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And Peter's like, can you shut the door? But anyway, White offers Peter $100,000 to sign over his gym.
Yes. Which
we don't see at the time, but Peter does accept.
Yes.
And then we get the most hilarious reveal where he opens up a briefcase to show him. And now
he's like, it's not like in the movies.
Right. So in the movies, it would always be like the briefcase is completely filled with money.
Yes.
But it's just one stack of bills.
Yeah.
For $100,000, which if they're big enough bills, that's what it would be. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming these are $1,000 bills because it looks like there's about a stack of 100 of them there.
Right.
So Peter accepts and basically sells Average Joe's gym to White.
Yes.
And then Peter leaves.
Mm-hmm. He checks out, literally.
Yeah, literally leaves.
Yep.
Goes to the airport.
Yep.
And we start the next scene in the locker room. Well, actually, no. First we follow Justin Long, who's headed to the locker room to be with the team to get ready for their next match against Globo Gym, the final match. And he runs into his cheerleader, wet dream girlfriend.
Yes.
And she tells him what happened to the guy.
She's begging Justin for help because her boyfriend fell out of a roller coaster and broke every bone in his body. And now they can't compete because they don't have someone to do the lift.
With her.
Yes.
So he's like, he agrees.
Yeah.
Because he'll be back in plenty of time for the match.
Yes.
So we get the final, 30 seconds of their cheerleading routine where he gets to hang on to her ass and loves every minute of it, looks up her skirt while she's up there.
Yeah, pretty much.
And wins and then gets a kiss from her.
Yep.
And then he has to hustle off and miss the trophy presentation because he has his own trophy to win.
Yes.
So he runs to the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
There's just the 4 players there for the team.
Yep.
And so he makes 5, but they still have
Well, no, because one more is missing. The pirate.
Yeah, the pirate has... That's right.
And Owen has no idea who the pirate is.
Right, yeah. And so Steve the pirate was berated by Vince Vaughn and told that he's not a pirate. And so he's lost.
Yeah.
Like, he has no idea what he's doing. He's montaging around Las Vegas with people picking on him for looking like a pirate.
Which in Vegas they shouldn't be because
it's Vegas.
Yeah, everyone looks funny in Vegas.
Yeah, there's like, everywhere you look, there's an Elvis.
Yeah,
so, what's a pirate?
Yeah.
Like, he probably works at, like, Treasure Island, the casino, and, like, that's his, like, dealer's outfit or something for all anybody
someone
knows.
Someone throws their ice cream at him, and someone else makes a side remark.
Yeah, he gets called a faggot. All sorts of shit. So, he is completely gone. So now there's only 4 players. Justin Long shows up, and that makes 5, but they still have to forfeit because they don't have enough players.
They need 6.
So we smash cut to the airport.
Yep.
Where Peter is drinking a beer, watching Dodgeball on the TV, on the Ocho, and drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Waiting for his plane to take him home. And Lance Armstrong shows up.
Yeah.
To give Peter a reverse pep talk.
Yeah. Well, it's Vegas. Anyone could be in Vegas.
Right. Well, absolutely. I would not be surprised to see Lance Armstrong in Vegas. The guy's a multimillionaire. Why wouldn't he be there?
Right.
But he shows up and gives us the sad story about his cancer and how he persevered and won his Tour de France's. And he's certain that Peter won't regret quitting on his team for the rest of his life.
Right.
So Lance Armstrong heads off because he's a big fan of Peter's. He's been watching him on the Ocho.
Yeah.
Big fan. So Peter's like, fuck.
Right.
So we don't know it yet, but Peter decides he's going to head back and join the team and play.
Yes.
So, but first thing he does on his way back, well, actually, we'll just do a reveal later.
Yeah.
So we go back to the arena.
Yeah.
Both teams, Globo Gym and Average Joe's, are out on the court, and Bill Shatner is there.
Will Shatner.
William Shatner,
Yeah.
Bill Shatner. Sir Patrick calls him Bill, so I'm going to call him Bill.
Okay.
Bill Shatner is there, about to award the tournament to Globo Gym.
Due to forfeit from Average
Yep,
Joe's.
which leads to one of my other favorite lines of this movie, where Cotton McKnight goes, Average Joe doesn't have enough players. They're going to have to forfeit the match. And Pepper goes, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
Which, it seemed to have actually worked out for them.
Well, it does eventually, yes.
Yeah.
We see that the cheerleader girl and some of her other cheerleaders have filed in to watch Justin's final match.
Along with the BDSM crew.
Yep, absolutely. They're all big fans of Average Joe. Everybody's a big fan of Average Joe's because everybody loves an underdog. It's like the year that Gonzaga was like a 15 seed and went all the way to like the fucking semifinals in the NCAA championships. The dream team, dream season. So everybody loves an underdog, which is why this movie's called The True Underdog Story.
Yep.
So everybody's there rooting for Average Joe's. But as Shatner's about to award the trophy to White, the cheerleader girlfriend, what does she do?
She goes, wait, he's here.
Yeah, and Peter walks out.
Yep.
Into the arena.
Yes.
And he apologizes to everybody and
says,
I'm here.
Go play.
Let's play.
Yep.
But White's like, no. Your team already forfeited.
Yep.
And so we're like, oh, there's nothing I can do. But of course, the nerdy white guy knows the fucking rule book and the bylaws.
Yep.
And says that the 3-person judges panel can overrule William Shatner's decision.
Yep.
And force the match to go on.
Yes.
With a majority vote.
Yes.
So that's what we do, and White is pissed.
Well, yeah, because the third judge.
Well, we haven't even got, he's pissed before the judges even vote. And the first judge is a guy, and he gives the thumbs up, let him play. Yep. The whole crowd is screaming, let him play.
Yep.
The second judge is a bitchy lady who looks
like Ruth Ginsburg.
She does look like. She also looks like she could be like the distant cousin of the Romanian girl on the Global Gym team.
Yeah.
And so she gives a thumbs down, and White's happy about that, because now it's 1-1.
Yeah.
And then we get the reveal of who the third judge is.
Mr. Chuck Norris himself.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
And he gives the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Let him play. And Peter gives the, thank you, Chuck Norris, which is a line from Sidekicks. That was a throwback to Sidekicks. That's a line from Sidekicks. Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Okay.
So, yes, which is why we have to watch Sidekicks on this podcast, because we've had a line referencing it.
Okay.
So, we get set for the match.
Okay.
They're going to play. And this is the finals.
Yep.
Win or go home.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's on the line.
Yep.
And this is a crazy match. Right? I mean, it's an exciting dodgeball match.
Yeah.
People are in and out. There's catches. There's drops. Yeah. People are out. People are back in. And eventually...
It's Vince Vaughn against White and Michelle.
Yes. And Michelle is eliminated as Peter throws the ball at him and hits him. But just as soon as he throws the ball at Michelle, what happens?
White throws the ball at him and knocks him out.
And hits him. But...
Yeah. So they think the game's over.
Yep, but...
Ref calls.
Yep.
Because White overstepped the midline.
Over the line!
Yep.
Over the line!
Yep.
And so
we see it on the camera.
Yep. They show White steps across and pulls it back.
Yep.
Yep, so good. So we're going to have... And so technically it's a double elimination.
Yep.
So therefore there's no actual winner. So what we're going to have to do is go to...
Basically a shootout.
What Cotton calls the most... intense thing in sports. What does he call it? He calls it what is it? Sudden death dodgeball.
Yeah.
Sudden death dodgeball. So this is basically 1-on-1. It's like a duel.
Yeah.
Essentially. They each are standing in a triangle that they can't leave.
Yep.
And they each have a dodgeball. Now these are special dodgeballs. They're not just the standard red ones now.
Yep.
They're like painted silver with like a skull and crossbones on them.
Yes.
And so they each have a dodgeball in a stand next to them.
Yep.
And they have to hit the other person or catch the other person's ball to eliminate them from like 6 feet away.
Yeah.
Like crazy close.
So Vince's character has Patch's scarf.
Yep. Yep.
And he ties it around his eyes.
Yes. So this is... Okay, so for those of you out there who don't know, which I'm assuming Alicia does not know either.
Probably not.
This is in reference to another fighting movie called Bloodsport.
Okay.
So this is paying homage to that. The
Okay.
blindfolding for the final fight.
Okay.
So you'll see that when we do that movie.
Okay.
But, so yeah, Vince Vaughn blindfolds himself with Patches O'Houlihan's scarf.
Okay.
And, again, Cotton McKnight says, Peter LaFleur is blindfolding himself for this final fight. And Pepper goes, he's not going to be able to see really well, Cotton.
State the obvious there, Pepper.
So good, so good. And so they get ready, and the ref yells, dodgeball, and it can begin.
Yeah.
And
nobody moves.
nobody moves except for White. He's like, hold on, what's going on? Like, he can't see or anything, so he just grabs his ball and holds on to it. He's like, sorry, Peter, it's all over.
Yeah.
He whips it at him. Really good shot, like right in his face. What happens?
He dodges it, Matrix style.
Yeah, Peter, we go bullet time.
Yep.
And this
slow-mo, turns his head, and misses his face.
Yep, and then on the way back, grabs his ball.
Yep.
Whips it, busts White right in the face so hard that it throws him back like 4,000 feet.
Yeah.
To the edge of the screen.
Yeah.
And Peter wins. Mm-hmm. The Average Joe's wins the match.
Yeah.
And this is where we get my favorite line. Where
Okay.
Cotton goes, I have been to the Great Wall of China. I have seen something. I think I've seen the Grand Canyon. I've even seen a grown man satisfy a camel, but I have never seen anything like this.
Oh my god. I do remember that. Wow. Okay.
So funny. So they win the $50,000.
Yeah.
And then...
They're celebrating.
Yep. And then some officials show up.
Yeah.
And this would happen. Officials show up with this giant chest of money because Peter had taken the entire $100,000 that White had.
Before this, White shows up and says it doesn't matter that you've won, and is trying to turn the teammates against him and says it doesn't matter that you've won because your friend here already sold me the gym.
Yep. And that's when we get this giant trunk of money. So, like, Average Joe's was like a 10 to 20 to 1
50
underdog.
to 1, he said.
50 to 1. So he put the entire $100,000 down on Average Joe's to win the match.
Yep.
So by winning, not only did Peter win the $50,000, but then he also won $5 million in the 50 to 1 payoff for betting $100,000 on Average Joe's.
Yep.
And then he tells White that it doesn't matter that he doesn't own Average Joe's anymore because he's going to take White's advice and invest some money and purchase the controlling share of Globo Gym with his $5 million.
Yep.
And that would put him in charge of everything that Globo Gym owns, which as of last night also included
Average Joe's Gym.
Average Joe's Gym. Mm-hmm. And that's when Steve shows up.
Yeah.
And not talking like a pirate. He's cut his hair.
Yep.
Looking a lot like Timothy Busfield.
Yeah.
And he shows up and he tells Peter, I'm no longer a pirate. Sorry I missed the match. And then Peter goes, but if you're no longer a pirate, who am I going to share this giant chest full of treasure with? And Steve just goes,
Arr.
Arr. And then, of course, we get a little, everybody's happy. We get Owen making out with the crazy Romanian chick. Mm-hmm. We get Justin making out with his cheerleader girlfriend now. And then we have White talking about how Kate is a lesbian and Vince Vaughn still thinks she's a lesbian because of what Patches had said.
Right. Well.
And then her friend shows up. Who
was in Guam.
Yep. Who is hot as hell too.
Yeah.
And they start making out.
Yeah.
And then Vince and the bald-headed black are like, damn, I guess she was a lesbian.
Yep. And she breaks away and she goes, I'm not a lesbian, I'm bisexual.
And goes and makes out with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
So he had a good night that night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then basically the end of the movie is just the new and improved, a new and improved Average Joe's Gym.
Yeah.
Upgraded the machines. It looks nice. There's a real staff there.
And there's a dodgeball center.
Yep. And there's dodgeball center with training classes for youth dodgeball.
Yeah.
Running every Wednesday or something like that.
Oh, and Justin knocked up the cheerleader.
Yeah. And Justin knocked up the cheerleader. So good for him. And that is essentially it, where it just tells them, hey, look, you're good enough the way you are, but if you feel like you want to get rid of 5 pounds, you think that'll make you feel better, Average Joe's is the place to do it.
Yep.
And then we really end on White sitting in a couch with all sorts of food
everywhere,
looking like the Buddha, and he's ballooned back to like 400 pounds.
He looks like the fat bastard.
Yep. And he complains that it had to end this way. It's because American audiences only like movies where the good guys win.
They didn't catch that.
Yeah, which...
I just saw him fat on the couch, and I was like, okay, the movie's over.
Which is a lie, because you know this. I like movies where either the anti-hero or the bad guy wins. Yes. Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
So, but I do enjoy this movie. A good underdog tale.
Yeah.
If a good guy's going to win, I prefer that they were the underdog.
Right.
So, yeah. And that's the end of the movie. That is Dodgeball.
Yes.
All right. So, what'd you think? Is it something you'd watch again?
Probably.
Or did you have to be high again?
Probably.
All right. So that's Dodgeball. I will certainly watch it again. I watch this movie on the regular.
Yeah.
I love this movie. So I will definitely watch it again. You guys should definitely go check it out. If you've never seen it before, give it a watch. It's funny. It's a good way to spend an hour and a half. It's short. It's only an hour and a half. So it's not like it's like a 2-hour movie or anything like that.
Right.
Let's see. We do need to talk about what our next movie is going to be.
What is it going to be?
So the next movie that we're going to do, we are going to do the first movie in the Kevin Costner baseball Holy Trinity.
Okay.
Bull Durham.
Okay.
So Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, and what's his name that I can never remember, played Andy Dufresne in The Shawshank. Tim Robbins.
Okay.
So Tim Robbins of Shawshank Redemption and Top Gun fame will be the Nuke LaLoosh. That's his name in the movie.
Nuke LaLoosh.
His nickname is Nuke, and his last name's LaLoosh.
Okay.
So he will be playing Nuke LaLoosh.
Okay.
And Kevin Costner will be there, of course.
Yep.
So will Susan Sarandon. I love Susan Sarandon. So
yeah, she's good,
and she's fantastic in that movie.
Yep.
So that's a good one. Still feeling the baseball itch, so we're going to be doing a baseball movie coming up. That's the Kevin Costner trifecta. I don't know if we're going to do the whole Holy Trinity in order, or if we should probably break it up a little bit.
Whatever you want to do.
Like, I don't know. Should we watch all 3 of them 3 straight episodes, or break them up a little bit?
Yeah, break them up a little bit.
Okay, because there's 3 of them we got to do. We got to do Bull Durham. That's the first one. Then we got to do Field of Dreams, which came out a year later, and then we got to do For Love of the Game, which came out a decade later.
Right.
So we'll probably break it up a little bit and throw something else in there between each one. But over the next little bit, we will be covering the entirety of the baseball Holy Trinity.
Yes, we will.
Of Kevin Costner. Let's see. So that will be the next episode. Check out our website, sportsmoviepod.com. You can find all of the episodes. You can find out how to subscribe to the show. You can find links to our YouTube channel where we have all of the episodes in video form, as well as any of the bonus videos that we do, like where we took the Looney Tunes trivia quiz from the original 1996 Space Jam website. It's already up.
All right.
And so that will also be being joined by the bonus episode that will accompany this episode at some point. The bonus video, which is us watching a actual professional dodgeball match on YouTube, because I found one.
Okay.
So that video will be joining the YouTube channel as well as each of our episodes are on the YouTube channel in video form. So until we catch you guys again next week in South Carolina during the heyday of minor league baseball, have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.